Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 286 of the On Air Advocate, where we provide education, advocacy, and supportive services for special needs parents, caregivers, and those with different ability, mental health challenges, as well as chronic illness. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Tammy Flynn, and I am the host and producer of the On Air Advocate. And I am super excited if you are here this morning joining us live or whether you are catching this on the replay. Now, if you think any of the information we're talking about today could be helpful for any in your community or your network, please share the love today and hit that share button. Now, if you have been following us on social media, you know that we are kicking off today our transition series and our back to school series as well. And so, with that, I am so excited to welcome not only a wonderful business friend, but a friend, my friend, Cindy Folk, author and course creator. Welcome, Cindy.
Thanks, Tammy. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you guys here. And you know what? As always, when you're going live with anything, we had a little disheveling with my computer this morning. So I know we're about a minute behind, but I thank you guys for hanging tight with us. When we talk about the transition series, and the reason I wanted to bring Cindy on is that there's kind of three areas as our young adults age out of high school and beyond. And those areas consist of more of the employment area, different life colleges and community college programs, as well as meaningful opportunities, meaning volunteer work, as well as passion projects. And that is why I welcome Cindy here today. And I wanted her to share with you because she is such a passionate writer. So I'm going to let her tell you guys more about her and her endeavors. So Cindy, can you fill us in a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Cindy Folk. I live in Saskatchewan, Canada, and I'm married with 3 children. I have a finance degree from the University of Regina, and I work part-time 3 days a week for a telecommunications company in Saskatchewan. I always knew I loved writing, and in school, you still have the opportunity to do some writing and tap into that creative side. But once I started in the workforce, I didn't find that I was being challenged creatively. So that part of me really suffered. I think it was back in 2015 that I heard about the National Novel Writing Month, where they challenge you to write 50,000 words in 30 days. And they say, leave your inner editor behind and just get the words on the paper. And so I did that. And it turned out to be about an hour and a half every day for 30 days. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I started writing. I wrote my first novel, the first rough draft in that month.
Oh my goodness. And I know that in us chatting, we've both shared that there are so many benefits from writing, right? I mean,
yes.
For so many, and especially in our community over here at the Honor Advocate, I not only have so many young adults over time that I've interviewed that have become authors and writers, but as well as parents wanting to share their journey and their story with others.
Yes.
And so I would love for you to share with the audience today kind of like your 5 reasons, most powerful reasons why you think people should start writing.
Absolutely. And, everybody has a story. Everybody has a unique set of experiences, but not so unique that others can't relate to them. And I think that's what's really important about writing is having the chance to share those thoughts with others and potentially help them. So yes, I have 5 main reasons to write. Yes. Should I get started?
You should get started.
Okay. So the first is, that you have more to offer the world. And, we all get stuck in our day-to-day, going to work, doing our job, coming home, making supper, taking care of your kids. And, there's a lot of love and value and special times there, but it doesn't show your whole self. I found, as my kids were growing up, there was more to me that people weren't seeing. You have all these thoughts in your head, but you don't have the opportunity to share them. So I just found that once I started writing, it was a really great outlet for me. Now, for the longest time, I wrote without telling anybody. So I wasn't sharing those skills and unique perspectives with the world initially. But it gave me a chance to kind of tap into those other thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, and Cindy, wouldn't you say that when we're writing on our own, there's so much power in journaling? I mean, I think that everyone has heard that's very popular in the media, in social media and stuff right now, people who do journaling and journaling every day for mindset. But I think
Mhm.
that goes along with the same thing. When you're writing, you're expressing yourself, right? And so even if you
Absolutely.
don't end up publishing something, there's a lot of power in that too, kind
For
of
sure.
your feelings and
Yeah, for sure. And in fact, you're going to get me to jump to number 4 right away
that's
because
that's fine.
yeah,
We can jump around.
journaling is a really great way to get stuck to get unstuck when you're stuck, right? Like say you have a certain issue or problem that you're trying to work through. Well, you get it out of your head and onto paper. And, it gives you the opportunity to work through something and maybe potentially set you on a different path. It's a good way to handle all those emotions and worries that you have in a positive, healthy way.
Mhm.
And, when you're doing that, you can also use those insights in your writing, whether it's nonfiction and you want to share your life and what you've gone through with somebody else, or whether it's a fictional story and you need to tap into, being really upset about something or angry, journaling and getting unstuck will help you to promote your writing or improve your writing.
Right, and it's always there. I have, on this platform, we have quite a few young authors, that also are contributors to different magazines and whatnot, and over time, they've written about whether it's their rare disease, their chronic illness, their feelings of those that were just their journaling things, which now they've turned into articles as well as published books. And so that's an exciting thing, as well, is that we may keep them to ourselves for a while journaling, but then if we ever want to share them, right?
Exactly,
We're ready.
exactly. And it's so important to share because, sometimes you work on something and if it just sits on your computer in your drawer, sometimes what's the point? Sometimes you need to just take it a little further and push yourself to be brave.
Hmm.
Yeah. So thoughts and experiences that you want to share is another reason to write. We all have those aha moments where you go, wow, I never thought of it that way, but
Right.
there's nobody to tell. Or maybe your family just doesn't quite see things the way you do because they're in a different place in their life.
Hmm.
With writing, you can write to your audience and, find places like Instagram where you develop your audience. And I find Instagram to be a very safe place to share. I've never had a negative comment on Instagram. So anyway, it's just a nice little outlet there.
Yes.
But yeah, these thoughts, these aha moments are important and they should be shared.
Yes, most definitely. And you talk a little bit about here because I'm kind of cheating because I have the 5 reasons in front of me. But a little bit about really getting your creative energy going,
Yes.
that
Yes.
really blossoming that creativity. Hmm.
Yeah, like I think we all have those moments where we feel super creative and we get to work and we work for a few hours. And then I find that I almost burn out. I have so many thoughts and ideas and want to do so much with it. And writing focuses that for me.
Okay.
And if I have a plan for my writing, an outlet, then I know where I'm going with it. So all that creativity to burn can be focused, especially in this crazy online world that we live in where we're scrolling but not really reading anything. I find that the writing really slows me down and helps me to really think about things, important things, and I think maybe think about things more deeply than I normally would.
Yes. And then I think it's this last one because we wrapped up some of the other ones, talking about the purpose. And that's where I was
Yeah.
talking about like passion projects, meaningful opportunities. And so speak to that a little bit. And then I'd love to share a little as well.
I think all of these kind of work together to find that meaning in life that maybe is missing sometimes. For years, I would go to the bookstore and look for what it is that I really needed to do to fulfill that little part of me that was missing. And, with that National Novel Writing Month and writing a book and then working towards making it the best I could be, it gave me a purpose and a really safe purpose, right? I just sat by myself at my computer when I felt like it and shared it very slowly and very carefully. But it gave me a purpose, and that led into so many other things, like having a small business, working with editors and cover designers and promoting the book and telling people about it. And so it really did give me a purpose, and the transformation was huge. And I do want to talk to that a little bit. I forgot to mention it earlier. With work, I worked with spreadsheets and numbers, and I was by myself, and meetings were very stressful to me. I chose my career where I didn't have to speak publicly.
Okay.
And look at me today. I'm on a podcast. Just everything over the last couple of years has really forced me to step out of my comfort zone. And it was scary at times, but it was really, it helped me in so many other ways too.
Yes. And as we really focus in on this transition series and making, obviously those that are living this are extremely aware of the lack of opportunities as our young adults bridge out of high school and beyond. And really opening that door, which I think so many of the self advocates that are a part of this show, show that um, you can turn your pain into purpose. You
Yes.
can share, change your journey, into your story and impact other people's lives by that. And
Mhm.
so, finding purpose in, writing and being able to publish something and put that out to the world and share your story. I know they always say, embrace your story, share the journey with others. I just think that this is an awesome thing to be able to do. And I know that in us talking, you have some easy steps, like you have a guide that can help someone that is kind of in those beginning steps. So whether this is a parent that is maybe traveling the journey that wants to share their story,
Yeah.
or whether this is some of our young adults that are bridging out of high school that are passionate about writing but aren't really sure the steps to take.
Mhm.
You have something, right, that can
I
help
do.
them.
I do. But I just have one thought on that. I just remember when I was transitioning from high school to university, life changes, right? You go from all
Mhm.
these teachers and support systems that you have into
Right,
being more on your own. And sometimes you need to tell yourself that you can do something. And that took me, I don't know, 20 years to figure that out. But yeah, anyway, just a side thought I had right there. But, you know,
right.
if you are interested in, or if you think you might be interested in writing, I came up with 7 easy steps. And if you can do these steps, you can write.
Okay.
And so the steps are, what is your why? So you need that why. Why am I doing this? So that you stay focused and in it for the long run, even if you don't feel like doing it some days. And on that, I always say, don't force yourself to write. Writing has to be a joy and something that is fun to do.
Mhm.
Set your goals. Set some affirmations. And this one is hugely important. When I started writing, I didn't think of myself as a writer. So I had to tell myself daily and maybe multiple times a day, I'm a writer because I write. And the more I write, the more I become a writer. And so just set some little affirmations like that. You don't know if your writing is any good. So I told myself, I'm going to write until I'm proud of it. And it
Right,
doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If I like it, that's good enough
right.
for me.
Like getting rid of that self-doubt,
Hmm.
changing our mindset on stuff, kind of speaking it into existence that we are doing this. We're gonna
Yes.
move forward. And there's so much out there about that right now, and the power and just the research that has been done on that and how
Hmm.
we shift our thinking.
That's the most important thing, I think, to get yourself to do something, anything. And then on that note is to tell somebody that you're doing it, even if it's just your best friend or somebody at the grocery store. It doesn't matter who it is, but you just have to tell somebody that you're doing a little bit of writing. And
Yes.
the more you tell people, the more real it becomes. And I don't know why it is about what it is about writing that makes it such a strange thing to do. You could crochet, you could knit, and you wouldn't be embarrassed about telling people about that. But with writing, it's a little different.
Right. And I think that we have those things where there's some type of we feel like someone might judge, like if we put something out
Yeah.
and they read
Yeah.
it. And that's where knocking all of those beliefs out of our head need to go away, that it just
Mhm.
be good to us.
Yeah.
And
Do it for
personal power,
yourself. Yeah.
right?
And if you can help one person with your writing, that's another thing to kind of hold on to.
Mhm.
And then step 5 is to write, to actually write, and just write for 15 minutes. And like I say, leave your inner editor aside and just get words on the paper, because until you have words on the paper, you have nothing to work with. So just get those brainstorming sessions started. Edit it, maybe take a day off or two, and then spend some time editing it, go through it a few times, and then just share it. Share it with one person. And yeah, if you can do all that, you can write a book.
Yes,
Yeah.
most definitely. And you have this in a link that we can share
Yes.
below after the show that
Okay.
gives them kind of like a guide, right? So
Yep.
that they follow along with these, and it kind of reiterates all the things that you said in more detail.
Yes, exactly. It's called 7 Key Steps to Get You Started.
Oh, I love it. I love and so excited that you are going to share it with our audience today. That is great, Cindy. So, before we hop off today, I thank you so much for sharing and being part of this transition series. But is there anything else that you would like to leave the guests with today that might be tuning in or catching this on the podcast later, to just remember?
Well, just remember that if this is something that you've always dreamt of doing, you
Mhm.
can do it. I mean, I never thought I would ever write a book. I thought it would be cool to go off into the woods somewhere and write a story and just be by myself. But I mean, I didn't follow that path. I didn't have that education. But if you like to read and like to write and are willing to spend the time, you can do it. You can, but I do say hire an editor, right? You need it to be grammatically correct. You need to have another set of eyes on it.
Right.
Um, and yeah, if you consult the professionals, you can get it onto the bookstore shelves.
I love it, Cindy. I love it. And like I said, we're going to drop that link below this. So if you're viewing on Facebook, it will be there, or YouTube, or it will be in the podcast show notes for you guys. So with that, thank you again, Cindy, for being a part of the kickoff of our transition series. I appreciate you being with us this morning here at the On Air Advocate. And you guys, we're going to be back again at 9:15 this morning for our next episode with Inclusion Coffee Company. So make sure to tune back in. Thanks so much, Cindy. Bye
Thanks
bye,
for having me.
everyone.
Okay, bye-bye.